Hello everyone, how you doing? I'm up in Derbyshire. I've just been looking at something called Robin Hood Stride, like these enormous rocks. And then I went clambering down in those edges and I found a hermitage. It's got this carving, look at that carving. That dates from the 13th century. Unbelievable, isn't it? Anyway, I thought I'd make a bit of a video just to reflect on the digital ID protest on Saturday in London, because see, I made a couple of videos in the lead up to it, you know, talking about digital ID and, you know, it being the hill to die on and you know, what are you willing to give up and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, well, I'll make one, you know, talk about the protest. I thought it was great. You know, there was probably, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but maybe about 5,000 people there. And if you're watching this, you're probably thinking, 5,000, what? The COVID protests were like tens of, hundreds of, in the end, thousands. Yeah, true. But, you know, those COVID protests at the beginning, bearing in mind, it wasn't just that the Prime Minister Boris Johnson had said, we're going to lock you down, and it was like a theory of something that's coming. They'd already done it. And still, at the early COVID protests, there was like, mate, I remember being at some where we were outnumbered by the police, like literally. And it was almost like you wanted the police to just take the high vis off, mate. So for the photo, it will look like there's more of us, do you know what I mean? And then it swelled and it swelled and it got bigger and it got bigger. And in the end, it made a massive difference in terms of turning the tide, particularly with NHS staff and then, you know, the jab mandates. It did a major job with that. And so I was talking to a couple of people. A couple of people were a little bit despondent. They were like, you know, I hope there'd be more. Well, obviously, I hope there'd be 10 million. I hope there'd be 70 million saying no to digital ID. But at the same time now, it is just a theory in the sense of what it's going to mean. You know, no one's been denied stuff yet. No one's lost their job for not having digital ID yet. No one's been told they can't go in the pub or they can't go to the football, which is another conversation, the football, which I'll come to. So that kind of, you know, real, hello, how you doing? That kind of real life experience that motivates someone, you know what I mean? Well, like you've had something taken from you, so there's an injustice, therefore you'll take to the streets about it. That hasn't really happened yet. So, you know, you've got people like myself and many others, you know, talking about digital ID and saying, look, this is what they're going to do. This is, no, I'm going to get out of it. This is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to use it as. These are the draconian measures they're going to impose on us if we say don't say. But it's still only, you know, me talking with a camera in a field. It's not real life experience yet. So once it is, you'll find that a lot of those people will find their voice, because unfortunately most people find their, I was going to say spine, but that sounds harsh, but they find their willingness to stand up when they haven't got much choice, do you know what I mean? Like people tend, I think, unfortunately, to sort of protect what they've got. That's why they don't tend to put their neck on the line. It's like, oh yeah, I could speak up for that person over there, but what's it going to mean for me? Which is a shame, but there is that apathy among society, unfortunately. And that changes when suddenly, well, yeah, it's not just that guy over there anymore, it's me too. Well, now I've got to stand up. So obviously those numbers will get much bigger. And I think there's protests in November, there's going to be protests in December, I mean, it'll be constant. The more they try and bring stuff in, you know, I think those numbers will swell. Because they have to, ladies and gentlemen, because we can't accept it, we can't have it. I know I keep saying it's the hill to die on, but it really is. It's not me being, you know, melodramatic. If they can get this in and connect, you know, your social credit score and all this kind of stuff to it, that's a giant leap. I mean, it's, you know, not all is lost in the sense that I'll never give up. Like I said before, I'll still keep fighting when they're chucking me in a reservoir. But at the same time, it makes it a lot harder when that prison becomes digital, and so you're not, you know, reliant on human beings, where you can appeal to their good nature, you know, in the sense that, well, if I'm not allowed in somewhere, or I'm not allowed to buy something, or I'm not allowed to travel somewhere, I'm not allowed to get on a train or a plane, and all these things that have happened in China, of course, where this stuff's already in place, you can appeal to the human nature within someone. Oh, come on, mate. It's my wife's birthday, let me buy a steak. Well, the machine ain't gonna have that, the machine don't care. So, stopping it before it gets to that point, and it's already quite far towards that point, let's have it right, is really important, and I hope that you know, people see it as important as that as well, so they're willing to stand up.